Hey guys, so hi again. It's not been that long since I last talked to you guys. So yeah, so now that we have this going, basically we have like 20 minutes, and so I want to just kind of touch over some concepts, some things that I would be doing when I would be like starting with a website from scratch and like trying to add cool, pretty things to it, okay? And a lot of this is just Googling for random stuff. It's actually really great. So I actually have a website that I'm, personal project is to prettify over IAP that I haven't really gotten to yet. But yeah, look at this, this is my website. It's like really, really bad. You'd think your staff member would have a good website. That's because I've never actually had the time to actually work on this. But yeah, you can see it's lovely. It has like some text and a couple of links, and it's mostly for the reason that I want to like post some of my projects that I've been doing over the course of MIT on here. If you guys want, you can go check it out. This is like a 2D fluid simulation that I made for graphics. You can like add cream to this cup of coffee, and then you can like mix it up. Yeah, this is it. Ooh, right? Yeah. Graphics. 6837. Cool class. There's another one here. There's a game that I made over a weekend in Unity, and you can like nicely host things on the web using Unity. So yeah, if you ever want to play this, you need a mouse. Don't play it with a trackpad; it would be really bad. But yeah, so the point is, so I have this website that is, again, it's a personal project of mine. One thing that you'll notice is this is already deployed. You can go to arneyogi.github.io and go to this website yourself. And what you notice is that's like a github.io. What is this? What is this weird way of hosting pages? Maybe I can talk about that a little, because it's a really easy way for you to host your own personal websites. I do not recommend, actually, like, do not use this for your web lab website, because these pages don't have backends. Do not use this. Do not use this for your project. But it's really handy and good to know about if you ever want to host your own personal websites. Because you're thinking about it, if I want to have a website about me that just gives information, I don't need an account for that. I don't need a backend for that. I don't need to really store data for that. I just want to show pretty things, kind of like the stuff that I like doing. So yeah, what's nice about GitHub websites, and they're specifically called GitHub pages, is that you can kind of just throw things in a GitHub repository, and it'll automatically kind of just show up online. It's kind of crazy. And what's also nice is it's completely free. So I guess I'll talk about that for a little second, because why not? So all of you can do this. Actually, I can show you the homepage for it. Basically, it shows you how, basically it's websites for you and your projects. You can basically just build a repository, push code to it in index.html and stuff like that, and it will automatically just show up online, which is really, really cool. So yeah, so I can show you my GitHub repository. Let's see, that's not it. Aha! So you can see I have here a GitHub repository that I made, and all I have here is this little index.html. I can clone it on my own website. So if you guys want to make it yourself, all you have to do is go to your GitHub account, make a repository with the name, your username, .github.io, and all of a sudden, bam, you have a website. It's actually that easy. And the only thing you need to do is, yeah, you push something called like index.html to that repository, and it'll show up online, which is really, really handy if you want to do something like that. So anyways, what I was saying is I have this website, but it looks terrible. So maybe I want to start making it look a little prettier. So this is what I've been doing for the past like 20 minutes, is now it has like a nice fade-in animation. It looks like a little cooler. If you missed that, it fades in. There's like a nice gradient in the background. And I did this in like literally like 10, 15 minutes, and it was like just doing random stuff. And you can see it's already looking a little more professional, already looking a little better. So I'll show you how I did this, like what was I thinking, how do I get here. It's not advanced at all. This is not this is not my final website, and this is not what I want to do with my website. This is just like things I was just hacking away at while Alex was lecturing. And like I can show you kind of the thought process that goes into building something like this. So yeah, first of all, you can see this is a file in my local computer. It's not online yet. So first what I can do is quickly, before I even get into editing this, I can show you how easy it is to kind of deploy this. All I need to do is quickly git status, git add index.html, git add index.css, status. Cool. Sorry, it's just a little small. Can make this bigger. Git commit -m prettier-ish. Git push. Cool. So I just pushed that to my GitHub repository. You can see if I refresh the repository wherever it is here, and refresh it, you can now see all those things are changed. And if I go to my website, it sometimes takes a little bit of time to actually deploy. So we'll check back in that in like a couple of minutes. Okay? But in theory, that should have deployed, and you should be able to see those changes online very soon. So anyways, how do we get here? How do we start basically this? So it started with basically nothing here. So what I can do, if I do git checkout head 1. Cool. So I'm actually right now back at what? Can I zoom in on the code? Yes, yes, of course, yes. Is that better? Can you guys see it? Is that not enough? I can try and make it even bigger. It's like HTML, but I can make it even bigger if you guys want. But yeah, so this is the HTML before I did anything. Let's put that. And what I just did there, if you guys, did a real quick command that like basically goes back to a previous version in Git. Super simple, you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so I'm back here, and so the first thing I want to do is like, obviously this is no good. This is like just plain text, there's no styling here, I don't even have a CSS file, right? So the first thing I could probably do is, what is this? I can import Bootstrap, right? So I know some of you guys were confused about this, so I'll do it again. Basically all you do is you go to the Bootstrap documentation, which I always have open in a tab, because that's what I do. And you copy this code over here, which is just the CSS link. Okay, remember, all Bootstrap is just a giant CSS file, and you can paste it into your header, just like that. Save, and if you now refresh your little page, you can see it automatically adds a few things. I can zoom in on that. It just changed the font for everything. And that's pretty nothing, right? It doesn't do anything. I guess it's not like Times New Roman anymore, which is something. But it hasn't done anything really yet with Bootstrap. So next thing I'll do, and this is just something you learn to do when you use Bootstrap, is put everything in something called a container. So I can make a new div with a class called container. Okay. And you can autocomplete that. Here's some VS Code tips while we're at it. If you highlight things and you hold Alt and press up and down, it moves things between things, which is really, really nice. So I just put all that code I had previously inside a container. Okay, now it's like nice and indented. It's like not super close to the edge. So we're getting somewhere, okay? Next, what do I want? Okay, so I have this heading, right? But I probably don't want it to call it "Welcome to my jank temporary website." Let's make it my name, right? Okay. So we refresh that. Bam, it's my name. Cool. What's next? So I want to make my name much, much bigger than everything else. So you can say I just made this H. By the way, H is I believe just like some kind of heading. I forget what it is. But I'm gonna make it H1. So now it's much bigger. Solid. But still, maybe this is not what I want, because even though it's much, much bigger, this is the real size of it, because I just zoomed in. So this is not actually that big. I really wanted to take up a large, large space on my screen. So how do I go about doing that? So perhaps I will go to Bootstrap, right? And let's say, what do I want to do? What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to make text bigger, okay? So what I can do in this nice handy search bar that automatically kind of fills in things for you, then there's text size, okay? And it suggests something called typography. Responsive typography is probably somewhere where I need to go, and I scroll around and see, whoa, big text, look at that. So I'm like, okay, this seems like pretty good. This looks like a good idea. So it says all you need to do here, and I can zoom in on this. Big text, all you need to do is put this class called display1 on it, and it'll make it big. So, okay, you know what? I believe in Bootstrap. Class equals display1. Cool. All right, and if we go back here and refresh, oh, look at that, it's so big. Awesome. Just what I wanted. So we're getting somewhere, okay? We're looking a little more aesthetic. But now, what do I do next? Okay, so first of all, I was being a super extra and decided I'm going to justify everything to the right instead of the left, because that's what designers do. No, it's just super random. But I also wanted to make sure that it's like nicely offset or something like that. So first of all, if you remember in our workshop that we did on the first day, we created some CSS classes that allow you to align text. Turns out Bootstrap already has this. It's called text right. Okay? And so we can put that on here, and now everything's aligned to the right. Look at that. Incredible. Okay? Let's go. I'm just going to keep adding random stuff until I run out of time, basically, to see how far I can get. But yeah, so we have text right. All the stuff is aligned to the right now. What else do we want to do? What else did I do? Okay, one important thing, just to make sure that your page doesn't look completely like Bootstrap, is you can import other text. So I'm going to go to Google Fonts, find my favorite Google font. Don't steal mine. Mine's called Questrial. So I'm going to go to Questrial and select this font, and then go to selected, and look at that. They actually have a really nice little view here that says how you can import it, and you can embed it by using an HTML element, or you can do something that I like a little better called a CSS import. Copy that. Oh wait, I don't have a CSS file, so I'm going to make a CSS file. New file, index.css. You're going to go here, paste that at the top, and then this doesn't actually do anything yet. We have to say that we want everything to use this font, so we're going to go to body, and then look at that. They also have that rule here for us. We're going to copy that, put that there, and I'm doing this purposely fast because I don't have that much time. But, so yeah, quick recap. We imported a font. We said everything inside the body tag is going to have that font, okay? But of course, nothing's going to happen yet because we haven't imported the actual file. So we're going to link rel equals style sheet, and then href equals index.css. Cool. And now, in theory, if we did this correctly, if I refresh, woo, it's my favorite font, Questrial. Everything's Questrial. Cool. So we have that going for us, but I wanted this to be a little farther away from the top, and I'm gonna real quickly revert it to 100% so we actually see it. Actually see it the way that we want it to be. Just for reference, we can go back to our online website and see where we were getting to. By the way, you can see this is online at arnieyogi.github.io, and it actually has deployed fully. So it just takes a little bit of time, but deploying is as easy as just pushing to a GitHub repo, which I promise deploying is not always that easy. So you'll see that on Friday. But so that's there. This is online now, so that's what I want to get to eventually. So let's do some different things. And this is more of an exercise to show you guys some fun things. If you go back to the Bootstrap documentation, there's a lot of utilities, a lot of, remember I talked last time about components, and you can just add a bunch of components. And components are great for just like rapidly building a website, but components can look a bit like they are a lot out of the box. They feel like, oh, every single website on the internet has these components. So maybe if you don't want to look too like bootstrappy, too like I'm making a website like everyone else, you might want to avoid using the components or heavily customize them. So I like going to the layout utilities, which is, if you remember, I talked about grids, which let you make nice little grids. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to do a few things first. You don't need to worry about this. I like making the container fluid. But what that does, I just change this from container to container fluid, and that just makes the entire website the container. Second of all, I'm going to make a couple of divs here. So actually, I already have a div here, so I'm just going to add it to this class. I'm going to call this, nope, I'm not going to do that. I make a div with class equals row. Okay, so if you remember, you can do really easy column layouts where like you like split up segments of your page in columns, and how you do that is you create an element called a row, and then you create columns inside that. So I'm going to take all of this that I created before, put it inside the row, call this a call, okay? And then I'm going to put another column after, div class equals call, and this is actually just for spacing, honestly. I'm going to put that there, and you can see what happens is, whoa, there's like one column in the left half of the screen and one column in the right half. That's not what I wanted, I just wanted to give some space, so I'm going to do this like column 2 or column 3. And if you remember how that works is each column is out of 12, so 3 out of 12 is about 1/4 of the screen. I still think that's too much, so I'm going to make it column 2, that's like 1/6 of, yeah, 1/6 of the screen. And so you can see now like 1/6 of the screen is here, and then 5/6 of the screen is here, and now I have a nice little border there. And that's one way to do some sort of spacing. There's other ways to do spacing in Bootstrap, which is really nice. You can actually look up spacing, and then you'll see spacing. And so this is actually a pretty robust system, which is pretty cool. If you remember, we talked about the CSS box model, which has margin, padding, border, all that stuff. So you can actually edit that without actually touching the CSS by adding nice pre-made Bootstrap classes, which makes sense. So how that works is you can write classes that involve the letters M or P, and then T, B, L, R for top, bottom, left, right. X stands for both left and right, Y stands for top and bottom. And then numbers to explain the size. So that's a little confusing, so let's just give some examples, because that's what Bootstrap does. You can do something like MT0, which stands for margin top 0, or margin left 1, ML-1, or PX2, which is padding in the x-axis 2, so both left and right gets a 2 value in padding. And you can see exactly what those mean. Basically, they have some default variable called spacer, which is some amount of space, and each of these values adds some certain amount of space. So I want a bunch of space on top of me, so I'll just add to this row maybe MT5, which means I want to add a bunch of margin to the top. And so now if we go back to this website, and you can see, hey, we got some margin there. That's maybe not as much as I wanted, and I'm lazy, and I could actually make a class myself to add more margin. I'm just going to do something jank, and what that's going to be is I'm just going to add another margin top 5 here. And then now I have 2 margins, one here, but that lowers it down a little bit, so I like that. Cool. So, where are we at? We have 5 minutes left, and we're getting there. We're getting somewhat there, almost there. But we have a few things in here. So first, I'm going to talk about the more exciting one. So you can see it does this nice little fade animation when you first visit the website, which is kind of nice. So what is that? So that's a nice tool called animate.css. You can Google this, get over here. And just like Bootstrap is just a bunch of CSS classes for you that does a lot of cool things, animate.css is also a bunch of nice CSS classes that do stuff for you, except in particular they do animations. So if we zoom in on this, you can animate this, and it'll show you what the bounce animation is like. And they have just a ton of different cool animations, if I can actually scroll on this. But like, so like fade out left, you can see that's what that does. I can pick like, I just picked that, let's see, what else is there? Maybe like ta-da. Ta-da, yeah, that's pretty fun. Or rubber band. You know, like, and you can like easily use any of these classes. And so how you do this is you go to here, go to the GitHub, and look at that, they have a nice README that says how to use. You can use npm to install it, you can use other things to install it. I like the easiest way, which is just linking the CDN link. So copy that, paste at the top of my index.html. And so now I have all those classes ready for me to use, just ready to go in this website. And so with that there, I can add now these classes to anything. So they have some tutorial here. So you can see the full example is you add this keyword called animated, and you say the animation that you want. And that's basically all you need. There's other parameters like if you want to delay or if you want to repeat forever. But you can see here, I maybe just want this entire row to fade in, so I say animated fade in. And then if I go here, one more time, but look at that, it fades in. Incredible. And I could do different things too. I could do like bounce, and who knows what that'll do. Boom, we arrived at my website. So yeah, I'm almost out of time, so maybe one last thing, which I did is this gradient here, which is pretty fun. Like I said, CSS has a lot of really, really cool parameters. You can go find those online. I like going to CSS tricks. And honestly, I was looking at this because this is a little more complicated thing, but you can add particle effects and stuff like that using Canvas. But I got to this website and I was like, wait, this sounds really complicated. I can't actually do this in like a short amount of time. But what I can do is, in their examples, they made buttons that had gradients in them. So I just copied that little piece of code. So how that works is, I'm just going to copy this one so I don't have to do too much. But maybe the body, I can do background, linear gradient, and then boom. All I did is just copy that linear gradient. It's basically pretty legible. You're saying make a gradient towards the right and from this color to this color. And then if you go back here, boom. We have a nice, pretty gradient. And again, this is like the power of CSS. And by the way, in VS Code, if you hover over colors, you can change colors really easily. So I want maybe a little lighter thing, so something like that. And then save that. Cool, so now we have a nice, gentle gradient, just like that. And that's basically everything I did in 20 minutes. So yeah, that's it. Basically, if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to make Piazza posts or email me. But more importantly, just realize that all this was just a bunch of Googling, copying code, and just being a little creative with how I want to use it. So yeah, good luck with making your front-end designs, and maybe we'll do another one of these when someone finishes the lectures early, and then I'll just throw in random stuff. Cool, thanks guys.